So, I wanted to make a video about something quite interesting, about one person struggling with another person, and the one person telling me like, I need my space on one hand, on the other hand, like in a blink of an eye. Now it was 3 days between there, but seriously, 1 second later, like, yeah, I'm hanging out with this person. And I gotta be honest, man, there is like a limit, because you told me for like one and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe, like that this has become a problem. And you said like, blah blah blah, this is a problem, and I'm really angry. But at the end of the day, you didn't fix jack shit. You ignored the issues, you let everything dwell, everything happens like it happened before. So this is like generic toxic relationship 101, I'd say. And I gotta be honest with you, man, if it comes ever to this kind of subject, no harm done, no hard feelings or whatever, but I gotta interpret it as random noise, as the signal to noise ratio. You have your pure signal. When you say it's the sun is shining right now, you see the sun is shining, the signal to noise ratio is 1 to 0, or 100%, and a 0% noise. There's nothing wrong you can interpret, there's no wrong data, there is no approximation, it's 100% pure correct data. It would be nice if the real world would function also this way, but physics and mathematics and quantum mechanics and whatnot make it hard for scientists to approach this 1 or 100%. And in regards to this guy with the, I don't know, how should I put it, the blah blah blah, the guy, the person, dude, the chick, whoever, person X doesn't leave me room to breathe. Yeah, I mean, this is 50% your fault, and this is 50% the other person's fault. And the fact, 50, it's like 50-50, and what do? You round up at the .5, so you have 50% of veto rights to speak, to state your opinion, and to say, nay, this shall never happen again, throughout all history, blah blah blah, and if you let this happen, this is your kind of deal, this is like your stuff, man. I don't care, but don't be confused if I interpret it as random noise, and I'll tell you this in future conversations. But in the meantime, have fun, whatever that means, everything's fine. But don't come crying around to me, because this is the part where I say I pull the plug. This is like for the first person. Then I had something different the other day, which was quite interesting. A person who was like, what was it? The 17th of September, I suppose, last year. Was like, yeah, now that I live around the corner, we can get together to learn, blah blah blah. Nothing ever happened, 5-7 months later, which I don't mind, to be honest. I'm disappointed enough to this is quite funny when you talk with ChatGPT about stuff like this, like, don't be disappointed immediately, you should not generalize, blah blah blah, but you need to generalize in order to protect yourself, But anyway, this is about the person 7 months ago saying like, hey, about we do some learning and whatnot, and this never came to fruition, which doesn't bother me. But the fact remains that this came up the other day, and the person might have troubles with anxiety and whatnot, but then there is still the option to communicate this. And if you have mutism, it's quite funny. The surroundings become at a certain level quite hostile. Let's suppose you have severe anxiety and mutism, like it's hard for you to speak up, but you need this issue resolved. So what do you do then, And at a certain threshold, your surroundings become hostile, yeah? They think the worst of you. Somewhat, not the worst, but they're perplexed by the situation, to put it this way. And yeah, it's not helping, And there were a couple of soft nudges, but yeah, it's quite interesting to see where I'm happy with myself. What I really like about myself is there are kind people, there are mean people, and it's perfect. Like if I have a touch, gentle touch, to find out if somebody is just a fucking piece of shit, or stupid, or just hostile, or kind, or abusive, or easily exploitable. And if you have this sort of touch and sense, this is quite an advantage. I'm talking with a person here who has like 20, 30, I don't know, something like this, 20 or 30 years of lifetime more ahead of me, The person was very kind, very helpful, but nothing came back. But yeah, it's interesting to see the person said like, this is where I draw the line. I won't be exploited anymore. I won't help out anymore, This is my personal limit. And the other person who is not able to speak up, screw you, And yeah, I understand the mentality behind that, because why wouldn't you also be angry at this point? But the funny thing about this is like how should I put it, energy you invest in stuff like this. And it's just the simple 3 strikes baseball rule, sort of, if you do like you choose person X and you contact the person 3 times, or maybe I suppose also in ticket management, something like this, you contact the person 3 times, 3 strikes rule. If the 3rd strike doesn't hit, okay, goodbye, you're out. And yeah, you need to implement this with yourself, man, because I've also learned this the hard way. And the sooner you learn this, the better it gets, This is not just like, but blah, 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 people can change. Yeah, there are like some people, this is like destiny. This is like the super old discussion about destiny. And what was the other thing? You own, what was the difference? Yeah, the opposite of destiny. Like when you're your path of own self-choosing, whatever, And that's the same thing. There are certain areas where there is more subtleness to it, where everything is approachable with a softer gradient, where nuances are very important. But there are areas like the 3 strike rule where I say, nah man, fuck that shit. And it's the same with, but people can change, where I also say, no, people don't change seriously. And yeah, people don't change. I hate to say this. You can change certain patterns and behaviors, that you roll into those patterns and behaviors, but the core element of you sort of stays the same, no matter how you turn or put it, whatever. And this is quite important from that kind of point of view. That's the one thing. Then the other person is doing the school thing. I'm also quite happy, new starter, new career path, so to say. Quite funny having some sort of leverage ahead. And it's quite funny if you look at it from a geometric perspective side. Like, this person first started in this special area with a coupon, so to say, you know. Then the other person started with a coupon, and then I started with a coupon, and we were all in a Three Musketeers coupon bubble area, you know. Then the first person moved to some place different, which I sometimes visit, sometimes not, but rarely, like, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 times a year. But 4 times is quite often. But the funny thing is, the person was working like in this career field and got laid down after some while. Meanwhile, the other person was doing like a very special niche area that got replaced with AI, you know. And also me, I never started in my area, so I kind of blew my legs away before I even started the race, to say I can't even start the race, you know. There could have been, to be honest, there could have been more of an effort. I see this now in hindsight. I do see this. I think there were 1 or 2 issues that I laid myself down the route, yeah. But yeah, like the postal dude says, I regret nothing, you know. And you just go with it. Fuck it. But the funny thing about this, you know, we have 3, 2, 1, and then I'm the next guy to start with another round. 1, 2, 3, sort of, you know. 1, I started my thing. The other person changed the career field because of AI, you know. And 3 is then with sort of doing the same thing as me, which is quite funny, as all roads lead to system integration, maybe, who knows, or as a career field. Nah, I'm just hyperbolizing. But at the end of the day, you know, if you look at all the AI news and how insane AI companies are pushing AI, it's quite funny. It's like they see you just as livestock to replace servers and storage and high bandwidth memory and all this, you know. this is your final last function. You don't have to think about anything else, allegedly. But yeah, on that side note, I had quite an interesting discussion with an old classmate, and he's also quite astute in this area. And even though he uses, like, I don't know, what was the new thing from Google with coding? Not Notebook, what was the other thing? I forgot. Luna Space? I don't know. Anyway, the thing is, even though he uses it all the time, he also says, "Nah, man, it's utter trash. You know, it's just the initial kickoff is so good that you use this. That's why you use it. You know, the kickoff is just so good. Why would you not run with 200 kilometers per hour and start very slowly if you can do this? You know, the kickoff is superb." But everything after that, you should use your own brain. And that's a fact. And it's also what I've come maybe somewhat to realize in certain areas. And there's this other person spending credits and tokens and money and whatnot, only to finish a project which the person doesn't understand that there are certain limits to it. And yeah, we'll see about that, man. We'll see about that. And in other news, I got sick and I got well again. I had some sort of stomach influenza, you know, and I was like sleeping 20 hours yesterday and 8 hours today, which sums up to 28 hours in a time span of 48 hours. So 2 days, which means approximately 2/4 of my day was filled with sleeping, which rounds up about 66%, which is quite a lot. Yeah. And from a audio perspective, you know, it kind of hurts to see I have this USB stick laying around, and it's been almost 2 weeks since I've done anything with it, and it's just sort of lack of time. And like a certain large language model mentioned to me, It's not about having not enough time. It's more about making time. And I fucking hate to be put in this position where I have to make time. Why can't I do everything at my own pace and speed and do for how long I please, you know? And time constraints have always been the issue. But yeah, we're talking 7 years, man. We're talking fucking 7 years since the last album, man. 7 years, you know? And the funny part is, from the whole supply chain, you know, making your creating a song, exporting a song, putting it on the album, putting in some meta tags, creating an album art cover, uploading it, from all the supply chain stuff, you know. I got the back end covered, sorta. This is like for me easy going. But the first processes, the front end part, the very first basic steps, yeah, starting is an issue. From starting creating, basically, it's like, this is so ironic, man, you know. When I was 15, I just clicked around, typed some shit, export, that's it, you know. I got hundreds of tracks done like that. But now that I grew older, yeah, and it's not even self-doubt or hate. I mean, yeah, it is, but in another kind of, you know. This is, in my kind of case, this is all about procrastination. And yeah, I remember like the album before, where it was like, yeah, you have to wait till the juices reflow, but I don't know which classical composer guy, composer dude was like, how about 12 to 12:05, I'm creative, I write shit down and that's it, you know, nothing more, nothing less. And this guy, he was cooking, you know, one of the most famous composers of, yeah, what is this? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st century, you know. So this guy was onto something. And just a regular schedule is all that it needs. And I suppose there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. The things I got a little bit more learning to do. And I think, yeah, just a little bit more learning, and then the day is over, you know. And this is not helpful. This is not helpful at all. Oh, look, trains. So, in the future, I solemnly swear that I'll take more time out for this kind of stuff, as I see a certain vision, in quotes, how the shit turns out. I mean, I can also make the beautiful excuse, I didn't have vitamin D for half a year. Now I'm finally exposed, you know. Let the wounds heal, man. Everything is healing, everything is fine, you know. Just ultimate vitamin D overdose. And then let's see how sad and unhappy you are, and how unfulfilling everything is, and how you can't get shit done because blah, you know. Because, well, this is what I'm telling you. Yeah. Hmm. Fucking skin on my nails is going off. Yeah, it's nice to see. I'm at the Siemens Park right now, something like that. It's like the first time in my life going to this park. And I also like this abandoned building, like blah blah blah, limitless spaces and shit. And it's nice to see. like all this fucking road just for myself at 12 a.m. something like this, right? Yeah. So yeah. What can I tell you? What else can I tell you? Yeah, got some import export stuff. Nah, I'm just talking trash. You know, yeah, the stomach, man. I can tell you about the process of being sick, which was quite interesting. Either it was because of I was visiting a friend with his wife. We have like 4 children. In my single household, immune system didn't handle it too well either. This is my first suspect. Or traveling on Sunday from Ingolstadt to Munich next to the toilet was maybe the second cause. The third cause was maybe not sleeping enough from Sunday till Monday, only like 5 or 4 hours, 4.5 hours maybe, you know. Then the fourth was like I'm traveling and commuting around with a lot of people in Munich and Ingolstadt. Like basically, I'm the ultimate patient zero for everything, especially on Friday and especially on Sunday, you know. So twice a week, maximum exposure, if you want to call it this way, call it that. And then we have also, what's the other thing? The other thing is, yeah, I had quite a healthy snack diet, something, you know, but here's the thing, I bought like some Thai curry noodles at Rewe for like 10 euros, and this was like, it had a weird smell or taste maybe, but not in a bad way. So this is always where it's quite interesting. This is the part where the brain kicks in, where it says, am I just being xenophobic, or am I hating without a reason? Or, yeah, Jesus Christ, beautiful. This is what it has to look, you know? What else do you want in life? This is perfect, man. You know, you got even your sun lens flare. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, and afterwards, like, I was learning with the person before, you know? Like from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Then, at, what was it? At 9 to 10 p.m. I was talking with a different person. Then 10 p.m. directly when I hit the bed, I got like shivers, I got chills, you know. I was sweating, I was freezing. My exteriors, hands and feet were super cold, while my head and body were burning up. Like, seriously, man. I was freezing and freezing and freezing. And it was raining, you know. And I rented the Airbnb, where I'm also right now, in Munich. And the thing is, besides the point that it's super expensive and I'm getting only, what is it, 66% of my money back. But yeah, that's besides the point. But what's to be concise, there are like house rules, you know. I'm on the upper, what is it, upper floor with what is it, the skewed roof thing, you know. It's a roof department, so basically it's even smaller, that's small. But besides that, one of the house rules is you're not allowed to open the windows when it's raining, because water could come on the side. There's like this tilted window and a side window. I was opening the side window, just also very small, a little tilted. The person was writing like, don't open the window, blah blah blah, it's raining, you know. And I was delirious, man, and I needed some fresh air, so I was sleeping in the shitty bad air, which wasn't helping my health progress at all. But yeah, the person was afterwards quite nice. But still, when you're sick and you need fresh air, doesn't matter that the house rules state blah blah blah. When you need fresh air, you need fresh air. So fuck you for that. And the funny thing is about blah blah blah, at the end of the stay, don't forget to rate us very good. And I'm thinking like, yeah, you wish, because after this thing, even though there was kindness and hospitality, you know, but that's beside the point. The water, you know, the water rain thing. I highly doubt rain would have come in, and even if I just put down a towel, this might have been sufficient enough, you know. And even if it's against the house rules and I'm breaking it, I was sick, man. I was delirious. I needed fresh air. The fact that you took this away from me doesn't help. It does not help. This is what I'm telling you. And if you don't want to accept this, this is your opinion, this is your option, this is like what you're allowed to think and do and say. But don't try to put this shit on me, as I will gladly just keep myself from leaving a good feedback, vote, you know, rating. Because now, just now, yeah. With the sun, all the problems of the dark past with snow and rain melt away. This is like my mindset for this year, haha. And yeah. Besides that, what else is there to say? I somewhat still miss my other class colleague, but yeah, like I said in the video before, yeah, you know, I thought this was like smoke, but it's just a piece of wool. Hang on something. Yeah. And I suppose there's nothing more to say about all of this.